Hi everybody, welcome to the Happy Hour. Are you happy? We be happy. Come on, let's get happy.
Forget your troubles, come on, get happy.
So dear friends, we just wanted to be consistent and connect, and there's no set conversation other than the art of being happy. And we're gonna be happy for a whole hour.
Oh.
Or at least 30 minutes. They call it happy hour, but we're gonna push it to 30 minutes.
Yeah, happy hour 4 to 6.
And then it's over. I always laugh about that. It's like, oh, so you can only be happy for an hour?
Hey, let us know in the chat, is the music loud? You good?
Yeah, we just turning it down a little bit.
So, did you notice anything about my hair?
It's very pretty and wavy.
No.
One little wisp.
It's parted on the side.
Oh, is that different? Damn, I'm so like, I just see beauty and I'm done. I have like...
Hi, Debbie.
I'm just good. I just see... Did you notice anything with my hair?
Yeah, it's shorter. It's standing up more.
It's pretty tall.
It's very tall.
I actually have to slouch down, otherwise I'm out of the shot.
Did you tease it a little?
So we'd like you to go and grab a drinky poo. We're gonna
Anything. Water, juice, beer,
whatever
wine.
you want. Whatever you want.
Tequila.
Non-alcoholic beverages are great. We're actually going to have real drinkies. We've got a nice red there. It looks like a Cabernet of some sort.
With lipstick on it now.
And I'm gonna do something called a Love Street. We'll talk about Love Street in a minute.
Street. Or
Street.
street.
S-T-R-E-E-T. Love Street.
Here we go. Hello, Dale.
We just wanted to invite you into...
And Linda and Barbara. Hello,
Hi, Lindy.
hello.
Yeah, just a connection, you know, just like we don't all get to go out and do stuff so much anymore, so we'll just bring the party to you. But I did want to read you something that came through, and so what we're talking about today is this beautiful art of being in joy, being in happiness. And, you know, I think we all probably laugh about the whole happy hour thing, right? Like Sabrina and I for years were just like, oh, you only get to be happy for an hour? And the reality is there's an art to tapping into this beautiful feeling of joy. And then how do you stay in it, especially when wonky stuff is going on? And maybe you can't stay in it all the time, but how do we get back to it as quickly as possible? And, you know, I'll kick this off with the key here for me is catching something and then consistently having the desire to return. So the art of consistency ties in really beautifully with being in joy, being happy, because it is easy to get out of whack. I always make the joke that when you go into a bookstore, there are not hundreds of books that say how to screw up your life in 5 simple steps, how to get depressed in 3 minutes. It's all about how do you get out of the funk, how do you get into the flow, how do you awaken your consciousness, whatever the PD, personal development is. And so there's this kind of, I guess I could call it a saboteur, or there's a default sometimes that wants to go into the negative. It's not your soul's default, for sure.
It's usually a personality, habit, or pattern that we established when we were young. Either we observed somebody else doing it, so we thought that's how you behave, or there was an interaction that you felt a certain way, so your tendency is to feel that way on repeat.
Yeah.
Or there was a dynamic that you were a part of, and you have identified as a person who has been through this and has these character traits. Almost, I think sometimes we're proud of them and we own them, because some people will say, I'm just really hot-headed, as if, that's who I am. I'm just really hot-headed. Are you? Is that what that means? Are you passionate about what you believe in?
Yes. And so that saboteur, or that thing that she's saying, those triggers, those habits, I have to be very consistent. I don't know about you guys. This person over here is pretty bubbly all the time, and I would say her MO is joy. She has her moments like all of us, but for the most part, you're pretty organically happy, playful human being. Let's talk about me for a second.
Okay.
I'm not.
No.
Only because of some programming.
I agree.
No, like...
You are more now, but it wasn't when
I am a very happy person, but my default, if I'm just trying to be honest, but I think a lot of people might have this. My default would be to I could easily go funky, right? And so the only thing that helps me to stay in the joy that I know myself as now is consistency.
And what would
Truly.
it be? Like complaining?
Oh, anything. Judging, complaining, worrying, hypochondria, like worrying about my back or my knees, or like worrying about money. Does anybody have that where you can see it's like right there? You talk about it. It's like this double-edged sword, it's just right there.
It's a line.
But the key for me is consistent practice. Consistent practice of that which I want. Mm-hmm. And that even comes to this show tonight, because we were saying, well, there's nothing in particular that wants to come through. But Sabrina reminded me last week, we promised ourselves that we'd be consistent with this show, didn't we?
Yep.
So even if you like think, oh, I'm not going to go to the gym, or not going to choose that path, or I'm not going to show up for the show, you do it anyway.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, like so many days, a lot of people feel like, yeah, I just don't want to move today. I don't, or maybe it's not today. It's like, I just don't feel like doing that class right now. And I'm okay with that feeling, but I'm going to do it anyway, because that voice is usually coming from an emotion that isn't aligned with what I want to be. Now, if my body is ill, if it needs a break, if it's coming from that place, like I'm going to choose to not move that way for that class because I think it's better for my body not to. That's completely different than just, somebody irritated me. I just don't feel like it. I'm feeling out of shape anyway. Why work out and all of that? I know that if I stick to the rituals that I've put in place, almost these rituals that have created a path that I know most of the time keep me on a path of a joyful, playful experience of life, that it works. And that the person who's saying, I'm so irritated at that. Oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that. I just don't feel like it. I hate this thing about myself. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
You do the things. You do the things that you said you were going to do, because you know that you will transform into an aligned version of yourself by the doings of those things. So I don't know if I would say, well, if I don't know, who would? So,
You could ask me, I'll help you out.
So I was going to say, I don't know if I would say that I'm organically a very happy person.
Oh, yes, you are.
Except as a child, I pretty much came out of the womb laughing, but very sensitive.
I think I came out crying.
So the contrast for me had a lot of anxiety, a lot of dealing with depression and sadness, social anxiety. It's so debilitating. It so crushes me that I choose happiness. It's almost like food.
You don't really have a choice.
I don't understand. Like if there's a handful of foods, and when I eat them, I feel really sick. Like what's the worst thing that I can eat is truffle
oil. Oh boy, it's a bad day at the Truscott household if they sneak that in there.
That truffle oil comes out of every orifice so fast. So I'm not gonna eat it. I can smell it from like across a restaurant.
We've had to leave a restaurant because she smells the truffle.
And I don't know why.
And some people love it, right?
I don't know why. And I didn't know I had an aversion to it until the first time I think I ate it. But there's other foods that when I eat it, I don't feel good. So I don't eat those foods. When I feel like I kind of have the same thing with feelings. It makes me sick to feel jealousy. It makes me feel sick to feel self-hatred. It makes me feel sick to loop with anger and frustration at somebody. So I'm going to choose as often as I can not to eat those emotions and not to walk down that path.
Eat
and to come
those
back.
Emotions. Write that one down. Don't eat those emotions. You literally are eating emotions on a cellular level. Can I insert that it's happy hour time for the whole hour? We're going to have a happy. So what are you drinking, folks? Let us know in the chat if you're joining us live.
Oh, we have a nice fun group here.
We do. We have all kinds of cool kids.
I see Bonnie. I don't have my glasses on.
Oh,
I see
that
Nancy.
sound. Ooh, that
Hi, Beth
sound.
and Doug.
So this is called Love Street. It's a carbuck. This is brewed here in Austin,
What's
Texas.
A carbuck?
Say if I pronounced it right. Karbach. Karbach.
Or I could say carback. I don't know what it is, so I wouldn't know how to...
It's a way in which they brew
Oh,
the beer.
B-A-C-H, Bach. Okay.
Bach, right? So
Yeah.
all I know is it's like a Pilsner, if you've ever had a Pilsner. Now look at this pretty glass.
It is pretty.
Is it rolling down the side? No, we're okay.
It matches the Satori map.
Didn't these glasses, weren't these a wedding gift years ago?
Yeah.
Look at the deliciousness. So we're going to celebrate with you guys. What have you got going? Let us know. Are you drinking a bubbly
there's
Bonnie?
there's no shame no matter what you're drinking, right?
Yeah, maybe you got a kombucha.
I got a tequila. I got a...
Glenn Ledwell is in the friggin' house.
Glenn, what are you drinking?
I've got yours right here, bro.
Glenn's coming for a visit in February.
Yes, I've got Flight Club glasses and decanters all ready and polished.
Glenn is the head of a mastermind that we're in called Flight Club.
Glenn's the head of a lot of things.
Yeah.
He's the Lord.
Glenn is my
lordship.
partner in Abundant Entrepreneur.
That's right. And he is a Lord.
He's one of our favorite people.
Awesome. All right. Glenn's got a Glentini going. Of course you do, mate. What time is it where you are? All right.
Happy hour, of course.
It's happy hour somewhere, right? Topo Chico for Liz. Salute, says Debbie. And Sabrina says, don't eat them emotions. Having a glass of white wine, says June. Cheers, June. Don't you love happy hour? So fun. All right. So now I've got my little bit of Australian accent coming in because Glenn's here. Hot water with cell salts. That's a new one.
Cell?
Shanna has hot water with cell salts.
I'm sorry.
She's at work. No adult beverages for me. Hey, you know what? Those what is it? Cell salts are amazing if you've never had them.
I haven't.
Okay, we'll get you some tonight.
So I wanted to kind of have a conversation tonight to continue something we were talking about in the Connection Tribe and also in our Black Belt in Life Manifestation program this week. And it was about the power of our words. And I'm really noticing it right now with 2020 coming to an end in a way of like this weird positivity, talking about how crappy 2020 was. Like, I'm so sick of 2020. Let's hope 2021 brings something better.
Right.
You know, I'm exhausted with wearing the mask. 2020 sucked. And I want to encourage you to get out of that energy of what you don't want and start talking about 2021. Like, I'm excited for 2021. Things are really going to be different. They're going to change. I learned so much in 2020 because if you stay in that vibration of bitching, you're just going to be a bitch in 2021.
It follows you like your tail. We're excited about 2021 because we're in a momentum phase right now of a lot of growth that's been happening from the contrast, right? So that back to consistently choosing. Mm-hmm. There were some times where the business, we could have gone like into fear, right? About, oh my gosh, look what's happening. Maybe you experienced that too with your business.
Yeah. And
you had to make those pivots and you had to kind of dig through like pivot, man. How do I hold the faith, keep the vision, stay in the positive? Mm-hmm. And we got to stay around positive people who are figuring stuff out, trying new things, right? There's been a lot of trying new things. And at the last quarter of this year, we tried some new stuff. We said, how about we actually upgrade the home? And you guys, many of you know, it absolutely happened. And then we sold Sabrina's mom's house. And it went under contract and sold and is done. And then our home had to get ready to be sold, and it got remodeled.
It's under contract.
It's under contract, and it's ready to be sold. And all these things are just, we didn't expect this to happen so fast and so much momentum. So we want to keep the momentum going with you guys into the new year.
Yeah, you were saying in the car last night when we were driving, you just said, And
It's
I
insane.
was like, share it with people. He was so happy. He's like, I love my house. I love my office. I love my studio. I love where we live. And he's so excited.
I'm so freaking
with
excited.
life right now. I love my transportation. I love this and I love that. And
I love my new podcasting microphone.
oh my gosh, it's so huge.
Hey, that's what she said. Sorry, we had to. Cheers.
My biggest thing that happened in 2020, I was actually looking at the date of things today because I tend to do that, right? We saw this house. We found this house on August 24th.
Right.
It went on the market and we put an offer in. Like, we didn't even let them have an open house. We're just like, we are taking this house. You're not having an open house.
Take it off the market now and we will give you a lot more money.
Yeah. So, but it was just the week before that I didn't know at the time that I was having a massive energetic upgrade and becoming almost like a completely new mindset and in some ways a completely new version of myself. And I wouldn't say that it was all like kittens and unicorns and trolls baking me cookies. It didn't feel like that.
Trolls?
You know, the little trolls in the trees?
Trolls in the trees. Do you guys have trolls that make you cookies?
Yeah.
What is
The
that?
Toll House cookie trolls.
Okay, I've never met them. I'm sorry.
And there was that vision that I shared on the Trisbrina Show at 6 p.m. on a Thursday, right before we came and saw this house at 7:30. And it was about, it was a vision of stopping the anxiety. That I was like 99.9% so letting my life be driven by love and by God and by faith and by all that is good. And in this vision, I can hardly talk about it because it's one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had. I was walking down a street. It looked like Atlanta to me, but like plantation Atlanta because the trees were all over the street and all the houses were a little dark, but there was this one beautiful house with the white columns and stepping stones that went up, and I was walking with a little package with a bow on it, and I was all alone, and it wasn't bright day, it was more like dusk, and I knew that I was going to that house, and I walked up the steps to the house, and I said, where am I? And they said, this is the house of love. It was the house of God. It was the house of faith. And I was guided to put my box on the doorstep and to leave. And they said that box are your worries and your anxieties and your fears, and you don't have to carry them anymore. Just that 1% of the 1%, put that on the doorstep and leave it here. We got you. And my life has been different every single day since then. I haven't had the sleepless nights. If I start having any looping, I'm like, I can be right there. I can be right at that doormat of love. And I can put the box there. My faith, that 1% of the 1% has absolutely changed.
Can you explain what that
everything.
means, that 1% of the 1%?
Oh, because my life has been devoted to love and consciousness and spiritual awakening since I was probably 14 years old. It's all I've obsessed about. And I would say that I was completely faithful and completely. But then it's like, well, if you are, why are you worrying? Why are you looping? Why are you trying to figure all this stuff out? Why are you projecting that bad things are going to happen? Why do you care what that other person thinks? All of these things were proof to me that there was still this, not even a whole percent. It was just that I was 99.9% good, but that one little bit, and that one little bit, how can I worry? When you have complete faith that everything that everything is for you, all that is good is in your favor. there is nothing against you. You are completely loved. You are completely gorgeous. You are completely taken care of. And life is just waiting to surprise and delight you with miracles. That abundance of relationships, of financial prosperity, of ideas, of being connected to your intuition, of being at the right place at the right time, of synchronicity, of having these little inside jokes with the whole universe is in that little 1% of the 1%. And I thank 2020 for that, because it put me at home a little bit more, and it put me really, I chose to let it put me inside. And the transformation that I've had in this year is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I can't even tell, I really can't even tell you what that does for me. Everything that I have, every time I start to have a worry, a concern, money, investments, oh my gosh, you lost this, what are you gonna, I left it at the door.
Hey, I think we need to cheers that. Cheers to leaving your worries in your box at the doorstep of love. So in 2020, what's something potent, pivotal that happened for you? Gotta have a little... There we go.
Yeah.
What's something, share please, those of you here, something that you can look back and go, man, I got this gem out of this year. You know, with all the whatever. That changed me.
Yeah. And I'm entering into 2021 with this new thing that I didn't have.
Let's ramp it up. Let's like really celebrate that one thing. Maybe you have a bunch. But that's how we build the momentum, is by celebrating that which is good.
Yeah.
You know the analogy. If you got 10 things that happen and 9 are really good, but there's one that's not so great. And the mind, that worry-wart saboteur mind, wants to focus on that friggin' one. Mm-hmm. What if you have, out of 10, 9 that suck really bad, but you got one that's really good? Could you focus on the one? Because that's all it takes.
Yeah, it's a domino effect, because from that vision that I was blessed with, this experience that I was blessed with, it's changed things that don't seem related. When I'm writing now, I'm writing in a completely different place. I would stress out. I mean, Tristan knows. I would say, I don't want to write the email. I can't write. I suck. I'm just not. It's like, whatever comes through me is beautiful, and it's gonna be what it is, and it's gonna get better and better all the time. It's just that bully in me that was beating me down. I just given myself a complete break and calling myself on it, like
calling yourself on it.
Yeah. If you
own it.
If I start worrying, it's like, well,
wait a minute.
If you're 100% in consciousness, in alignment, in alliance, we've got to show them that picture.
Okay. Yeah.
In alliance with the power of love, you can't worry at the same time. The two can't exist. You know, like Dale was sharing, and we had a big conversation about it. The two streams, the stream of healing and thinking about things and clearing blocks, all awesome. Happens in that stream. And then awakening and consciousness and living that fully is kind of a different stream, and you have to jump from one to the other. We're going to show you a picture that I think is so powerful. I've thought of it in the middle of the night when I get woken up with thoughts. And I remember this because it just reminds us of how powerful we are and how loved we are.
Aw, tears are coming again. Here, you talk about it. I'll hang back here.
It says, when someone says, "You and what army?" I just look at that picture and I see, it's not that necessarily there's an army and there's all those people, but sometimes you can feel so alone, and we can personify God, source, as like also a singular, and that singular is hard to experience for me as powerful. But this vision of this, like, wow, there's that much good rooting for all of us. There's this army of love that wants only the best for us, that wants us to be in alliance with that, when I'm in alliance with that, all is good. And when I feel all those other things, I just have to remember, hey, you're fighting the fight alone right now. Why don't you go back over there? Well, the good stuff is.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That's the team right there. However you connect to that team, I love the power of that, because Sabrina was saying, wow, my team's not that big. Not that you need an army, but to feel the momentum and the force of love in your life is that strong. That visual can give you a little glimpse of how much bigger it is than sometimes we remember. Because like some shitty stuff can happen. Like Kathy just said, she had a really bad thing happen this year. She's having a hard time finding the gem. And I get it. Man, when my back was jacked up, and that was years, I had to dig really deep just to get out of the ground so I could stand back on it. But looking back, you know, my dear, and we all know that there are gems. What's that beautiful saying? Suffering is grace in disguise. Let's stay open to the possibility that there's something packed inside of this. Because it wouldn't be happening if you couldn't handle it. I know that's cliche, but it's true. And there's this soul on a mission concept where you came here to learn something and it didn't happen by mistake. I know it sucks sometimes. It doesn't feel fair. And when you get into law of attraction conversation about that, especially when bad things, happen to good people, that can be hard to, it's like a tough pill to swallow. But still, what are you going to do? Yeah. Are you going to choose to get empowered by it, or are you going to be crushed by it? Remember the donkey analogy. They're like, threw him in the frickin' well, and they're like, you dumb old donkey, we're done with you. And they start throwing dirt on him. And the donkey's like, well, screw you. Shake it off, step on up. More dirt, shake it off, step on up. Next thing, that donkey walks out. It's like, screw you, right? Well, he actually didn't even have that experience. The experience is use everything to elevate. Yeah. So my pitch back to you is find the gem.
Yeah.
Find the gem.
Well, we had a great conversation this week about being grateful, and it was during our VIP Awaken Living call, and I was really thinking about this, and the next day I said, you know, it's interesting, when I'm grateful for something, it's usually because I know what it is to not have it. And the conversation started because it was I grateful for all the dance classes that I got to go to when I was a kid. And I said I wasn't, because I thought every little girl was supposed to get to have lots of dance classes. So it wasn't until I was older that I realized that wasn't the case. But sometimes you walk outside and it's such a sunshiny day and you're like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing day. But you kind of know that because it's been cloudy and rainy and dark, and that contrast really helps. That's something different. Or, you know, you've been eating TV dinners for a long, long time, and then you visit your mom and she like makes real food. Like, oh my gosh, this is so good. You know that it's so good. It's much better than the beans and frank and the what is that, aluminum foil where you pull back the thing on the cornbread. So
yeah, but we don't know sometimes because it is what it is.
Yeah,
then you need that. Some people call them wake-up calls. Some others call it contrast. You need the thing. When you're in the middle of it, it's like, no, this isn't good, right? This sucks. But there's one of our students here, she says, her name's Kobe, she says, I'm on the other side of that now. Don't forget there's another side. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It is there. Yep. It's just how, there's the lesson, and it's going to take what it's going to take to get it. Mm-hmm. And that's just, as long as that takes. But can you be patient, and can you be loving, and can you just do everything you can to keep putting that box of worries on the doorstep of love? That's the consistency we're talking about. Because sometimes it doesn't drop right away, right? Yeah. Sometimes it takes a little bit. But you're going to build a resilience and a fortitude and a depth and a discipline, which to me is the disciple of life. The disciple of life says, no matter what, I'm going to choose love. No matter what, I'm going to find the lesson. No matter what, you are not holding me down. I'm made of love and light. Sorry, just is. And it takes what it takes.
Yeah.
If you can hold on to that in your darkness, because I know about darkness, I came so close to saying I'm out. And that light thread was right there, just saying, hold up 1 second. Remember. And I had to reach high and make a deal with the divine to get out of it. So whatever it takes, though, that's a beautiful mantra.
Yeah.
And we have a friend, Peter Ragnar. He says to fear, really? Show me what you got. And there's something about that that's brazen and bold, and it's hard to say when you're feeling victim, but it's like, all right, show me what you got. But something in that will awaken that warrior of love inside you.
Yeah.
That's just like, all right, well, I came here and I got a friggin' team. You saw my team. I got an army. I got an army. Can you feel the energy of that?
Yeah, I've said that sometimes when I hear that voice that I've heard over and over and over since I was in middle school in my own head, that I call her the bully. It's like, you said this to me for many years, and when I listen to you, it never ends up bringing me joy or happiness. You can kind of get playful with it, and that can ease out of the pain of it if you can kind of get playful and jovial and almost to an extreme, make it more of a farce. I find that I can get out. But in the moment that the things, I had this shoulder had a nerve pinch, and I would just be moving, right? Like last week, and I'd just be like, ah!
She just screamed. I'm like, what? My arm.
And
what's going on?
And then after about 3 days of doing these slow movements, and I didn't lift weights for 3 days, it's moving, and it's moving really well. I was appreciating it, and I'm like, I wouldn't have appreciated that if I hadn't felt that pain. What are you laughing?
Oh, Bonnie said Peter's a badass. We're all badasses, right? In our own way, right? We call those BAMs, badass manifestors, right? You can be like a terrible manifester and manifest all kinds of misery, or you can be a badass manifester and use everything to up level. I say we stay tight and we stay strong and we project an incredible 2021. Mm-hmm. We're going to do something fun. We're going to do an energy expansion event. Anybody ever heard one of those? Raise your hand. Let us know in the chat if you met us through an energy expansion event. And I want to give a shout out to Glenn. He might not be here anymore, but Glenn...
What, you think he's not watching?
He's probably still watching. He's on his second Glenn Teeny. But Glenn, our dear friend, business partner with Sabrina and Abundant Entrepreneur, he's always supported those energy events. And you may have found us... He's
the co-owner of My Movies.
Well, yeah. He and Natalie, right? So, and the team. You may have found us, though, because of him. Mm-hmm. So, thank you to that whole team.
And then by contrast, you appreciate us more. No, okay.
Well, of course. They don't know Glenn that well. But here's the thing. We're doing another one in January 4th.
And it's going to be detox, not just from the physical body, but from the whole mental
anything that's been holding you back.
Thickness from 2020 and the immune boosting. I think it's the perfect thing to help us all shift our energy into what's going forward. So many of us are thinking, when's it going to go back to the way it used to be? Never.
It's not going back. Not the way it was.
It'll be different. It'll be different.
What do we say? Bounce beyond. Bounce beyond. Fly forwards. Yeah. That's what we were saying. Fly like that.
I mean,
fly forwards. What's new?
When progression happens, technology, the end user, the home user, has had to jump forward 10 years in 1 year. So many people now know how to attend a Zoom session, know how to shop online, know how to check an email from a mobile device. Just things that the mind was saying, oh, I'm too old, I don't know how, it's too much trouble, I'm just going to go to the mall, I'm just going to go meet that person, and you couldn't. And life has forced so many people to be online in a new way, which has opened a huge opportunity for so many people who want to have a business online beyond who's in their little local town or their village.
Yeah.
So it's actually opened up phenomenal experiences. Anybody who wants to be a coach, teacher, healer, leader, business owner, the norm is you tap into the whole world. Not open a store on the corner.
Right.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So we're building a little bit of a momentum here today in Happy Hour, celebrating. I think we've been pretty happy for at least 35 minutes, so you got 25 to go. And we're also building a momentum of let's really fly forward into 2021. Let's get excited now. Let's get our energies ramped up for it. Let's continue to connect like this. We'll continue to work the craft of consistency by showing up on Thursdays, delivering the Trisbrina love. Mwah. That's for that guy. What was his name? Jim?
Yeah.
Was it Jim? Jim, if you're still watching.
You guys, we got an email. If you weren't there, we got an email from someone that said
it was Jim or something.
There's just, it's sickening. I don't watch Facebook Lives to see so much love between two people. Get to the point.
Well.
But we read it and we both laughed because we haven't been talking about how much we love each other. That's an experiential thing that people pick up on. Last night.
Oh yeah, last night was fun.
We walked into this place. It's kind of like a bar in a store, and there were these two women there, and we walk in, and they're just like, "What's going on with you guys?" So many times when we go places, people come up and they just say, "What's going on? What's that? What's the energy?
What is this?
What is this? Oh my!" It's like, yeah, you guys have. The lady said, "I can't imagine one of you without the other," and they just met us. And
Literally,
we're
just
like,
met
we
us.
can't either.
No, but as they got to know us a little bit, they were talking. They were entrepreneurial women, pretty high-level business stuff that they're into, and they were like, this one lady was like, "It was just your energy. I don't know how else to say it. It's your energy. There's something that you're giving off, and I just picked up on it the moment you walked in the door." That's us, guys.
Yeah.
We're the energy army, okay? Like, let's stay together in this beautiful high vibes, and let's just fly into 2021.
And I love that the energy that you're experiencing, which you just may think that's just what I am, it is coming out of you. It is vibrating out of you. It is what you are. Whether it's the most high vibe and beautiful.
I gotta share this. Barbara, you're killing the game here. She goes, "Jim, don't let the door hit you on the way out." You rock, Barb. That's the best ever.
And that's one of the reasons, the most important thing is that you protect and nurture your energy for yourself, but also for others, because we could have walked into that location and been like the Debbie Downer of the whole thing. It's like, ooh, once they got here, the energy's so heavy. Right? You don't want to be that.
Man, this thing's a party. You don't know how many days you have left, so celebrate your butt off. Think about that. You in particular. Yes, you. We don't have a guaranteed future. It's not gloom and doom. We just don't freaking know. So if today's the day, let's rock it out. And I'm talking to myself because I have days where I'm right? I said it in the beginning. I raised my hand. I'm a recovering mindaholic. Right? Worry, war, hypochondria, blah, blah, blah stuff. I raise my hand. What do I have to be? Super freaking consistent. If I'm consistent, almost incessantly to it, I'm good. And I have to live on the other side of it. But you know what? That other thing, if you think about it, it's what caused you to wake up. And it caused you to build the discipline and the rituals. So thank it.
Yep.
Thank
If I didn't have that emotional pain and 7, 8 years old having an ulcer, if I didn't, our tendency towards an ulcer and seeing doctors for that, it wouldn't have, why in the world would I have tried to seek something different?
Right. Yeah, we wouldn't.
Almost everyone that you meet on this path that are so passionate about alignment with love, we all came because there was a lot of pain. So I'm grateful for it. Because
Yeah,
I think
we are now.
the worst thing to be would be I don't really feel anything. I don't feel much. I don't really care. Yeah, good days, bad days, whatever.
I'm
Like,
content. Oh, don't do that one.
mediocre. It's like,
Don't be content.
put some fire into your butt, baby.
Be lit up.
Yeah.
Show up, lit up.
Because if you can feel depressed, if you can feel angry, if you can feel jealous, if you can feel even like that extreme self-hatred that can lead to addictions, if you can feel that extreme amount of energy, because that takes a lot of energy, then you have a lot of energy to focus towards what you do want.
And when you can say what Dale just said, you've got it all. So grateful for my emotional suffering, which is basically thank you for my emotional guidance system. It has been my path to awakening.
Amen.
You can hang your hat on that right there.
You guys, you're awesome.
Yeah, you guys are. You're the best. Thanks for being
I'm
in
so
our life.
glad that our energies have found each other through this virtual portal. It's really amazing, and it's a blessing, and it's that army, it's that alliance. We are in alliance together.
We are the army.
We are the army.
We're the army.
Isn't that sweet?
Okay, beautiful friends. Thank you for being in our lives. Thank you for celebrating this happy hour with us. Continue to be happy. Don't ever stop. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. It's a puppy dance. Come on, wake up. Wake up, lazy.
They have their eating hats on. Will you take his hat off? Or-
Here, you can have
It's
this
a fall
dog.
hat. Woo woo!
Take a dog.
Take a dog, any dog.
Wake
Pick
up
a
on the
dog,
dog.
any dog. You don't have to wear your eating hat. Look at his hair.
Manly wants to leave his hat on. You're so cute. Look at the cuteness. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye now.